All right, welcome everyone to today's EdTech Tuesday session on mastering STAAR prep and keyboarding with learning.com. I'm Debbie Pingel, and with me we have Valentine Guetta. Please keep your mics muted, and please feel free to type any questions you have in the chat section. Valentine and I will be watching for those questions. If you have not registered on the PD system, please do so. The session number is 353462. And you can also check in there on the PD system with the remote check-in code PSJA Tech. So today we're going to look at how learning.com has resources that will help for effective STAAR online testing preparation and keyboard instruction for students. So we're going to take a look at what is learning.com, how to log in, the library, the test prep lessons. We're going to actually take a look at what they look like. We're going to look at the online assessment skill practice that they have, some keyboarding lessons. We're going to take a look at what the students see and how you can actually assign a lesson, even though you won't need to because all the lessons are already assigned for you. But if there's additional lessons you want to assign, we'll show you how to do that. If you need to change any of the settings, we're going to go over that, and also for the adaptive keyboarding settings, and look at the online training center. So again, if you have any questions, just feel free to put those in the chat today. I'm going to go through a few slides, and then we're going to actually go live into the program learning.com. Learning.com is our computer literacy curriculum. So it has everything to do with anything online, which includes testing, because now we are testing online, and they have a nice test prep lessons designed for students to help them learn how to navigate through a test. So this isn't actually STAAR material, but it is learning how to use their device and how that will help them during the testing, because they won't be so cold and just jumping into some of those actions that the test requires. So for teachers and students as well, they're going to go to their Clever, and this is for homeroom teachers, and they will log into learning.com, which is this little pink app, learning.com digital literacy. They will be taken to their teacher center, which looks like this photo here. They have a classes tab, reports, the library, which we're going to be taking a look at today. The Tech Quest is their actual assigned lessons with the technology curriculum. We have online training center for teachers if they want to learn additional or have additional support. There's a support where you can actually reach out, and then account info. When the teacher logs in, you will see a View Classes tab, and we're going to take a look at that today. And that's where you're going to find like your settings for the program. If you go to your library tab, and you're welcome to log into your learning.com and kind of navigate if you'd like to, or you can just watch. We will, like I said, be going in live and seeing this after I just go through a few slides. Here is where you will be able to browse all the resources that learning.com has to offer. So we're going to take a look at those resources. We're going to really focus today on the keyboarding and the online test prep, which is down here. We don't see that one here. So the online test prep lessons, like I said, they're not STAAR material, but it's learning the fundamentals of how to use the computer. So we know, like on some things, the students maybe have to check a box, or they have these little radio dials that they have to check. So this program actually teaches them about how that works. That's one of the skills. These are just a very few that I put graphics on here, but it's very robust of what they have. There's also word processing. Revising and editing is one of the skills they have, where they have to actually learn how to cut and paste. They also have spreadsheets and bar charts, learning how to navigate through those type of activities and those type of computer skills. There's an online assessment practice, which we will go a little bit through that today. This one has like some drag and drop, where they have to drag the bottom words to match the definitions. And then there's keyboarding. It starts with your basic home rows, how to sit, how to place your fingers. So it teaches them from the very beginning, and it gets them typing words per minute. So this is just an example of, a typing practice that they might see. This is what the student will see when they log in. They log in the same way as the teacher. They go to Clever and they look for their learning.com. Now in the upper right-hand corner, they're going to see this Classes tab. When they click on this Classes tab, they will see this menu. And on this menu, they have a keyboarding class already assigned. They have the STAAR prep already assigned, of course, for the testing grade levels. And then this is their regular tech quest pathway that they have. So if you are, wanting them to work on the keyboarding, you're going to tell them to select, which class or the STAAR prep or the tech quest. And this is what the student sees when they log in. They see a little avatar, which when they first log in the very first time, they're able to choose that avatar that they like and want. It says welcome and it has their name here and then their grade level. And this is the keyboarding, happens to be the keyboarding pathway. And so here, the little stepping stones, if they hover over the stepping stone, it tells them what the activity is. And I am going to talk about this because right now these stepping stones are not locked. So the student could actually come and click on 13 and do that stepping stone. Now, that might be good, but they're missing all like the home row activities, which the keyboarding is kind of in order. It's a progression. So I am going to show you how to lock those stepping stones if that's something you want to do. That's just if you feel like it might be needed or it might not. That's going to be your choice if you want to be able to do that. As a teacher, I might lock the keyboarding just so that they're able to progress through the lessons in order that they're kind of prescribed. So that's going to be your choice if you want to do that or not. Then when you come into the library and you click on some of those activities, you can always come over here and preview the activity and you can see what the student is going to see. So you can do that by just clicking on the link that's here. Once we go in, I'll show you. Or you can click on the view and that's going to be the student activity. Now, if it's something that's not on the pathway right now on the keyboarding or the test prep, or their tech quest, you can come in and you can actually assign it as well. And we'll look at those steps. And then when you go to your View Class tab, this is where you're going to see your class settings. So this is where I'm talking about blocking that sequence. So these are the areas where you're going to want to take attention to. The grade level you cannot change. That's already prescribed. You already have your class. You want to leave this tab active. If you turn that off, it actually turns off the learning.com lessons for everybody, so don't touch that one. Here we have the assigned sequence. It's open right now. If you want to make it forced, where they have to follow the order, you can click on that Force tab. Now, if you decide that's what you want to do and you come in and you change that, you can always come in later if you feel like, oh, I don't want it to be forced. I want them, I want it now to be open. You can always come in at any time in your class and open that back up. And then this is another area right here, the minimum score. Right now, it's set at 0. I already changed this one to 80. That means they are able to progress if it's a locked force sequence or the activity. They're able to progress no matter what their score was. So they could get a 0 and they could still go on to the next lesson. So if you want them to get a higher percentage before they can move on to the next lesson, this is where you can change that right here, that percentage. I like 80 or 90. That way they're really learning it and they're learning it. If for any reason you need to add a co-teacher, you can come also to the settings and add a co-teacher here using their email. And then there are some settings for the adaptive keyboarding, which is kind of the game format of the keyboarding skills that the students see in their arcade. And I will show you that in a little bit here. These settings you can change for the whole class, or you can target different students. And the goal for the grade level is already set. I think this was a 3rd grade level and it was 25 words per minute. Now, if you want to change this, this is where you can come in and change that at any time. As a teacher, I would just leave it as is, but you might have some students that do need some differentiation, so you could come in and change any of these settings for individual students. And then, of course, there's an online training center that has different modules that you're welcome to check out. Okay, so now let's go actually into the program. And I'm going to take you in. I'm in my Clever account, and I'm clicking on learning.com. And we have had learning.com for over 20 years. When the teacher comes in, they will go straight to their teacher center. Since I'm a district admin, I had that. So they don't have to do that step I just did. And they won't see this many classes. They're going to see one school, and they're going to see their class, which will be view class right here. So let's take a look at the library, because I want to go right into the online prep assessments. So here we have the prep for online assessments, and I want you to see what's available to help the students get ready with their computer skills for online testing. These lessons, the intro to pointer devices, are for the younger students, the kinder, 1st grade, even 2nd grade. They have some lessons to also get them ready. So your younger grade levels can use it as well. I'm just going to stick quick with 3rd grade. Now, these are all the lessons that are assigned right now in that pathway for the online prep for 3rd grade. So each grade level has a little different package. You can see here that these lessons are designed for 1st through 5th grade. So if they did some of these lessons last year, they're going to see some of the same lessons, which isn't going to hurt them because, maybe they didn't master it the first time. But you can kind of see the grade level, and you can see the time. They're not super long lessons. Now, some of them get a little bit longer, but most of them are, 15 minutes or less. So I want to take a look at the fundamentals, and I'm just going to show you the student view for a minute or so. I hope you can hear the sound.
Computer navigation, windows and controls. Sometimes when you're using a computer, you need to communicate with it. To do this, you can use windows called dialog boxes or options windows. For example, say you needed to tell a computer how you wanted a picture to look. Buttons help you make your choices. This is a checkbox. A checkbox lets you select an item. In a group of checkboxes, you can make as many choices as you want. To use a checkbox, click inside it to make a check mark or an X. To remove that choice, click in the box again to empty it. You try. Use the checkboxes to choose seabirds and sea turtle. Excellent! This is a radio button. A radio button lets you select one item from a group. To use a radio button, click the circle next to the choice you want. You can change your choice by clicking another circle. You try. Use the radio button to choose dark colors. Oops, try again. Marvelous! This is a spinner. A spinner lets you choose a number. Clicking the up arrow makes the number in the box bigger. Clicking the down arrow makes the number smaller. To change the number without using the spinner, select the number and type a new one. You try. Use the spinner to choose 3 copies, then click the gold star. Fantastic! This button.
Okay, so you get the idea here of how the program guides the student through those fundamentals of, using the computer and what those checkboxes are, the radio buttons. And it might not be identical to what they're going to see on the STAAR test, but some of this is. And so I think it will help them go through some of these lessons just to help them with their navigating, especially if they're not using the computers every day. And even if they aren't getting these computer skills that they are going to need on the test. So this will help them with that. Let's look at one more lesson. Let's look at the revise and editing or formatting. Just take a look real quick.
Word processing, revising, and formatting. A word processing program can help you in the revising step of the writing process. Revising means reviewing and making changes to your writing to improve it. When you revise your writing on a piece of paper, sometimes you rearrange or cross out words. A word processing program lets you quickly move text or pictures and format your document so it's easier to read. You can use the cut and paste commands on the Home tab to arrange text while revising a document. First, select the text you want to move. Then, cut it. Put the cursor where you want the text to be and paste it. You try. The sentence, "I am a zebra," would fit better at the end of the riddle. Cut it and paste it there. Nice work! Sometimes you need to type symbols that are not.
Okay, so you get the gist of how the program takes them through different activities to learn those computer skills. And it's interactive. After it teaches, it always gives them a little time to, do the practice. And you saw that I made a mistake on the first lesson, and it's like, oops, try again. So, it guides them. And probably if they do, it wrong a few times, it's still going to guide them through. Now, it also has, at the end, after they've gone through all these different little courses, we have an online skill practice. I'm just going to look at the student view of this practice, and this is going to kind of go through some of the helps that they saw in those lessons. Now, it does read the directions for them.
Congratulations! You've learned some important digital literacy skills. It's time to see how to use these when you take online assessments. This is a
So it will read all the directions to them. And then here it gives them how to check the radio button. So this is like their first activity. And then here we had the drag and drop. So they had to, which tool plays the sound, the audio. So they have to, do the drag and drop. If you move back, the arrow to the left. So they're learning like the different types of computer skills here. Then we have, I'm just going to kind of go through, I'm not going to finish them. This is another drag and drop with the different tools. This was the check boxes. This one actually has a line reader, so it teaches them, how they could do the line reader to help them read line by line. So that one's kind of neat. And then we have the drop-down boxes. So it kind of guides them through different activities here. This one shows how, like, when they click here to do their answer, the calculator pops up. Here is a histogram. So here they have the data in the table. So the pizza is 40, and it just shows them how to drag the little fields. So it's giving them some practice. And like I said, I don't know if it's identical to, what they're seeing on the STAAR, but it's going to be similar, and it's going to help them navigate the computer, even not for the testing, but also in life, learning how to use some of these skills. Here's where they have to, put the points on a grid. So 6, 4, and it, shows them how to put the grid points. Here, it's just showing them how to drag the data boxes up. So it just gives them some practice on the different skills. Here, they have to select all the pictures of someone holding something. And, since it's, that's not holding anything. There we go. It's not like anything content related. It's just the test. So you get the gist of how that works. Okay. Go back to our Teacher Center. And let's take a look at our keyboarding. Oh, actually, I just need to close out here. Okay. So we're going to go back to our library and we're going to take a look at the keyboarding because we know now that they're doing more typing, there is a need for students to learn how to type and do the keyboarding. It starts as young as pre-kinder. There are lessons assigned for all grade levels. We'll take a look at 3rd grade again. And we'll just preview we'll start at the first lesson. This is the keyboarding home row lesson.
Keyboarding, home row. Everyone should know how to use a keyboard, including you. Keyboarding is the basic way you can use a computer to communicate. To get started, sit up straight, plant your feet on the floor, and rest your back against the chair. Good posture keeps you from tiring and helps you feel comfortable while you type. Successful keyboarding means that you can quickly press keys with the proper fingers without looking at the keyboard. To do this, you need to learn how to use your left hand for the keys on the left side of the keyboard and your right hand for the keys on the right side of the keyboard. Your home base on the keyboard is the home row. The home row is the middle row of letters and it has 2 touch keys. F is the touch key for the left hand and J is the touch key for the right hand. A touch key has a small bump or line on it that you can feel. By feeling the touch keys, you can keep track of where your hands are on the keyboard without looking at the keys. To help you learn to type, number your fingers like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Curve your fingers and place your fingertips lightly on the home row. Your left finger 1 goes on the F key, and your right finger 1 goes on the J key. Line up fingers 2, 3, and 4 so they each rest on their own key. And rest your thumbs on the spacebar. Now practice typing the touch keys F and J. Use finger 1 on each hand to type what you see on screen. Use your thumb to press the spacebar.
So notice it does a little quacking sound if you don't get it correct because I didn't do the spacebar.
Fantastic job!
Okay, so it gives them a little reward, after they do the practice. So that's the first lesson in the keyboarding. And then it takes them through several lessons. I like how it even talked about the posture and, the finger placement. And then there's even some, like once it gets more advanced, there's the practice that will give them their words per minute. So it's musical, it's kind of fun. So here, this is just a practice, and it tells their accuracy and, of course, their words per minute. So it's kind of just a fun practice for the student, and they can also, do those lessons again if they want to like try to increase their words per minute and their accuracy. So the typing is very good. The keyboarding, I highly recommend that we have all students, working on this to help increase the keyboarding skills and get ready for those online assessments because they're here to stay. So I had a student view. Let me bring it up. So when the student logs in, this is an actual student, and it doesn't have any personal information other than a first name, so I thought it would be okay. We'll just show it real quick. Here is where we have their classes, so they're able to click the keyboarding or the STAAR prep, the tech quest, and so if they're switching to the STAAR material, and then if you notice, if you hover over that software fundamentals, if I go over here to 5, word processing, we have spreadsheets, and you can go, and then there's an arrow that actually takes you to the other parts of their path to see the whole pathway. So that's what the student will see. That's their view. Are there any questions so far? I think I've showed most aspects. This is where you assign the lesson. I did show that already. And I think that's about the preview that we have for you today on the online test prep and the keyboarding skills. So hopefully you'll find that beneficial for your students and they'll be able to use that. If there are any questions, I'll just leave the screen up here. But feel free to reach out to Valentine and I if you do have questions. It is an excellent resource. When I was teaching over 20 years ago, when learning.com started, we did start using this program with the students, just, learn those computer skills, and they've come a long way since then. Okay, so stick around. We will have a door prize. Let me see here and stop sharing and see who's with us so we can put your names in real quick. And we'll have the wheel of names.